Dementia and Alzheimer's affect millions of elderly people throughout the country. Social worker Dan Cohen decides to try a music-based experiment to awaken memories and emotions. Documented over a 3-year period, Cohen's pursuit touches countless lives in Alive Inside.
Hi, I'm Leah, and I'm here with Liz and Brenna, and we're here to review the new documentary, Alive Inside. We've all just seen it. Liz, why don't you tell us what you thought?
I have to say it's hard to evaluate this film as a whole, to deconstruct its filmmaking, because most likely you will be, unless your heart is made out of stone, you will be crying the entire time. And it's impactful, it's gut-wrenching, and at the very least, that's what a lot of films are trying to be, is to connect with their audience in that way. So I thought it was pretty great.
I actually didn't cry at all.
You don't have a heart made out of stone, but I'm sure you were affected by it.
It's a great concept. It's a great look at it. It's very, it goes around the country. It looks at multiple nursing homes. I just feel like they didn't dig deep enough with it. Like, all we got is sort of, this person is old and doesn't move, but music, and they're happy. It's like, well, what about them? How do they get to this point? Why does this particular music affect them? What are the memories associated? Which is the whole point of Dan Cohen's nonprofit, which is to unlock memory with music. And they didn't really unlock memory. They unlocked happiness.
Well, in the beginning of the film, they did, in the first interview.
One person.
Yeah.
Well, see, I saw it as being a little broader than that. I felt like thematically, the message of the whole film was about the healing powers or the redemptive powers or the recuperative powers of music. When everything else fails, there's music. Having said that, I must admit there is a bit of kind of emotional low-hanging fruit here, because anytime you have a film that's about the most vulnerable members of our population and how they are neglected or mistreated or sequestered so that the rest of us can't see them because they remind us of our own vulnerability, yeah, you're gonna like push a bunch of emotional buttons, and I, like you, spent a lot of time crying through this movie. I did. Also in there, I think, is a very subtle critique of our, kind of like our national health care and the big pharma, the way in which we try and prescribe a pill for everything, but we don't go to these kind of more humanistic elements that we have that connect us all.
As extraneous to buy a patient an iPod instead of medicating them.
Right. Or they don't, because of the Western medicine, we don't really pay attention to the healing properties of things like music, because you can't really commodify it and churn it out the way you can, pills and stuff like that. So I do think that there is an indictment that's going on here about that when you look at the film in its total.
It's not outright manipulative, but yes, of course, you're seeing older people and they're catatonic and then they come alive, and it's very, it's very emotional. But at least this film attempts to redefine what it is to be old, and it also presents a plan. It says, here's what we can do as a society for these people, and a lot of documentaries, they don't present that kind of proactive next step. So at least I was leaving the movie, as depressed as I was, feeling like, okay, well, there's hope, and I'm really excited for the future for this population.
I don't know. I think that was a problem because it had so many focuses. It focused on the music. It focused on the problem with our healthcare system. Then it focused on our problems of us as a culture not listening to our elders. And it focused on the problems elsewhere that music can also solve. And then it's so broad that there's no depth to it. Everything is surface. Bureaucracy is bad. Here's an expert to say bureaucracy is bad. Here's somebody else to say big pharma is bad. Here's somebody else to say music good. But while it is all on the surface, I feel like it makes it more accessible. It makes its message much more easy to disseminate, which is a good thing.
Johnny, can you tell us, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Is that you when you were in the Navy?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Do I look like that?
Yeah, that's you.
That's not too bad.
I think most importantly, though, is his integration of the music. He does it in such a way where it sounds like they're listening to it on headphones and we can still hear what's going on in the scene, but then he lets the music swell and take over, so it's just you seeing them celebrate and hearing the music.
And you're brought into their memories, too. For some characters, you are brought into the memories with the archival footage and with these photographs, and you feel like you're discovering these things along with that character.
I think the film makes several good points, but one that particularly stands out for me, which is the degree to which our memories help define who we are and our identity. And once those memories are wiped, are we still who we thought we were? Right? And to ourselves and to our family members and our loved ones. And I think I think it's important that we pay attention to things like memory and the things that actually help stimulate memory to the degree that they remind us who we are and they continue to give us being and our lives meaning.
Alive Inside is an ungainly film, but it has a very important and heartwarming message. So I say stream it.
I agree, as a film it's not perfect, but as an experience I would say it's a must-see.
Alive Inside does what some of the best films out there do, is they make you feel, and feel good. So I say see it.
All right, well, our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for Alive Inside. Cheers.
Cheers. Just don't put your music on my iPod when I'm old.
It'll bring back memories, though.
And terrifying ones. It'll be like,